Hi, my name is Maddie Ehlers, and I am presenting on the conceptual framework of Ron Clark Academy. So, when I got to reading about the details of this assignment, I was really excited. I wanted to choose something that was a little bit outside of the box. So, Ron Clark Academy is a teaching nonprofit school in Southeast Atlanta, Georgia. So, this is kind of either really well known. So I was thinking you're either already very familiar with Ron Clark Academy, but I'm hoping that's a little bit new to you and that you can, this will be interesting for you to just get to be a part of a little bit. But I thought it would be a unique model to kind of really dig into and compare as far as what I know to be the conceptual framework of schools that I've taken part in the Midwest, and knowing that this is so vastly different, but still in the US, which I liked. So some quick facts about RCA is that it's a highly acclaimed, it's a nonprofit middle school, so it's servicing 4th through 8th grade. And that's new. It used to be 5th grade right up until the 2019-2020 school year. So it's a demonstration school. This is really important to know because a lot of, as you see, it's a nonprofit, a lot of where they get their funding from, over half of it is from them being a teaching school. So visiting educators engage in a vibrant professional development experience by observing best practices in action before participating in hands-on workshops. So they offer workshops every single Friday throughout their school year. They're inviting educators from around the world in the United States to come in, observe what they're doing, this model at their school, to be able to then replicate different forms of it the best they can at their school. So as you see, that's why part of this uniqueness, I'm just going to go back here really fast just to see this castle design, right? So engagement is going to be the driving force behind everything they do. So Ron Clark and Kim Bearden founded this school in 2007, and the heart behind it was, could we go into a low income area, a high needs community, and if we combine rigor and high academic standards with engagement, um, are we able to see success from these students? So with that as the driving force behind this school, they created a really unique and neat environment. So inside of the school, it's going to be filled with vibrant colors, drawings, painted all over the walls. They have a staircase, and next to the staircase are 2 slides. And when you go to be trained there as an educator, you are then slide certified, they call it. So that's kind of that engagement piece of, if it can be more fun, then why not? So the enrollment, they have 120 students across 4th through 8th grade. That averages out to be about 30 per classroom in all of their classes. They have a staff size of 30. About half of those are the direct teachers on staff. So the PD program of teachers who are coming in, they've serviced over 50,000 teachers, having visited to learn firsthand their engagement and rigor model, which is really unique. And I think that number has to have skyrocketed. Just in the spring, I've seen them offering a lot of online options as PD. So they have a house system, which is the most common thing that I've seen. I've seen a lot more Nebraska schools since I've worked in Nebraska that have visited RCA or incorporate principles from the Ron Clark Academy than anything that I did when I worked in Iowa. And the most common thing is this house system. So this house system is kind of instilled to build relationships, create community. It helps you keep up with the SEL of your students. It's connecting your staff and students. So when your 4th graders come in, they spin a wheel and they're given a house. And they have really unique names, but they all have this meaning of givers, friendship, courage, or dreamers. They're given shirts, a color. They have teachers and community members. And so then the families take on this too, that they become givers or they become the courage house. And all of the families have shirts. So it creates a ton of ownership just within these 4 houses. They do different competitions, different things. And so it's just a unique, fun piece of RCA. And you'll see this now incorporated in schools across the country. They offer club and sports, long list right there. There were even some I'm pretty sure that I left out. And their school day goes from 8 to 4. So all of these offering, including art and music, happen after school. So that's going to happen at from 4 o'clock to 5:45 is when they stop activities. And then it's just a really unique model of how they do things because they do have 90-minute blocks for their scheduling. So the RCA vision is to be the best school in the world. I love that. If you have seen any videos from Ron Clark, then you know what like a bold statement to go, we're going to be the best school in the world, and using transformative methods, techniques that are embraced and replicated everywhere. So knowing that's their vision makes sense when you look at the high caliber that they require from their teachers. So they are recruiting teachers from, just like Kim Bearden and him were top educators in the nation, recognized through competition, through Disney. They are searching for educators that are the top recognized, moving their families, coming, being a part of their school. So they look for the very best they can possibly find in educators and require a lot from them. Their families, when they are signing in and they're applying to be a part of RCA, last year alone, they had like 450 applications for their 30 to 33 incoming fourth grade class. So through those applications, a lot is required of the families, a lot is required of the students as far as the caliber of homework they are doing, how hard they are working at their time at RCA to rise to the occasion because of the rigor. And the reason behind that, you can look every single time and go, it's because they want to be the best in the world by demonstrating these methods and these techniques. Really unique. So you come into the RCA mission to deliver the highest quality educational experience where global citizens are born through engaging teaching methods, academic excellence, relationship building, and a passionate climate and culture. So even what I've talked about already all fits somewhere in here, right? So if you look at the passionate climate and culture, you can see the engagement. So Ron Clark is right on top of tables right now, and he often raps to his class and is well known for that. Passionate climate and culture is going to come from things like how they do the houses that are designed. Relationship building fits right in there. Academic excellence, that rigor that we keep talking about. When you look at the culture, just being that fun, those bright colors, the classrooms being transformative, slide, all of those things have a purpose. They fit right under the umbrella of the vision or the mission, which is really intentional of Ron Clark and Kim Bearden. So the students' goals are found through RCA's founding principles. So they had a list of about 10. These were the ones that applied directly to the students, so that they embrace RCA's motto of no fear, that they promote academic excellence, set high expectation for every learner, that the students are cultivating, becoming global leaders and citizens by teaching them about the world and traveling to see it with them firsthand. So RCA, they raise $2 million through funding every year, and then they also get about 2.8 million supported through teacher training programs. So each student, it takes about 18,000 for them to go to school because of how much travel they are doing every single year through their experience. But like I said, this is a nonprofit and they're getting scholarships and they do all of this funding, and then their teacher model allows them to be able to provide these experiences of them traveling the world, which is a huge part of their driving force for experience and getting to be global citizens. Another student goal is that they are ensuring that the classes are composed of students with varied academic, social, emotional, and economic backgrounds, and then they seek to enroll a large number of students who would not otherwise have the academic opportunities that RCA can now provide. So when I looked at curriculum, this was, I knew, going to be the hardest piece of RCA because they're a training school. They cannot put out the stuff that I'm looking for free. So the nitty gritty, the curriculum details, how their lesson planning, how they're connecting standards to the curriculum they're choosing. So here's what I found out with lots and lots of digging. So I found a journal article where Ron Clark said, we're trying to get the kids to the point where they can get a scholarship to any school they want to attend and give them the poise, the confidence, and academic ability to be successful. This is a driving force behind the curriculum for middle school students, right? 4th through 8th grade. Not high school, 4th through 8th grade. So some of the things that were listed in this journal of activities this class was able to do, 2010, who graduated in 2018, what they were able to do was to draw a world map from memory showing every country and its capital, give public speeches without notes, sometimes without preparation, and on occasion in front of a TV camera, learn every British monarch in order, take tests on English history, religions, wars, economy before traveling there. So then they're going to repeat a similar regimen for every country that they visited. So Very, very rigorous expectations. Here's what else I know. So I follow a couple of the teachers from RCA, and by watching YouTube videos of things they were saying, they are creating their curriculum themselves. So, like I said, it's a really unique situation of teachers. The caliber that they are requiring from their teachers is incredibly high. So, I found a lesson that's specific for an example from a teacher, Mr. Thompson, who is their seventh grade science teacher. And I went ahead and I researched the Georgia State Standard that kind of matched up with this the best that I could. So you can read that. This lesson is a combination of the standard. Then there was an incorporation of coding and computer tech. So he used that to have the amino acids on the computer bouncing around while kids were doing a movement cooperative learning activity that they were going to take they're all wearing signs, right, of these amino acids. The tNRA travels to get the amino acid, so they were checking their coding to see if it was them or not. They had a script, so then the ribosome makes protein, um, and was moving them as a group on the computer. So there's a ton of moving parts, but the kids, this was an introductory lesson. So it kind of showed the high caliber the students are used to when learning a new lesson right away, and the incorporation of there was writing. So there were academic standards. The level of writing that they were doing was a high level of writing when they were reviewing at the end. There was a coding involved the tech, and then there was the science standard. And this had all been created, and he uses pamphlets that he creates himself for their curriculum. So really, really high. So if you look, we know about the curriculum. It's inspired by the goals of rigor and engagement. It's driven by state standards. Teachers have full creativity and are encouraged to create their own lessons, full of the rigor and engagement. The goal of students being ready for any high achieving high school, Ivy League college, full ride scholarships, travel opportunities are directly correlated with in class material. So if you're a teacher, the travel going hand in hand with your course material, which is going hand in hand with state standards, being really important. So, using what we know about that, I wanted to create a unique conceptual framework. I liked the idea of having each one kind of feed into the other one, rather than the idea of them building on top, but just kind of this rotating circle. So, knowing what we do, I just went over the vision and mission of RCA. So, wanting to be the best in the world and delivering high quality experiences to the kids with a passionate climate, rolling right into the learning targets so that they're aligned with state standards. They're discipline driven academic standards to instill hard work, rigor, and a love for learning, combined with engagement and rigor in a way that's not often seen in a public school system. So that goes right into the student goals, which is cultivating students who will become global leaders and citizens by teaching them about the world and by traveling with them to see it firsthand. I think that's an awesome summary of the student goals of RCA. That then rolls into curriculum and how they design their curriculum. So state standard driven, it's primarily teacher created to promote ownership, classroom relativity, rigor and engagement, as well as achievement. I wish I could have found some more details of their curriculum, but I searched all over, watched teachers' YouTube videos, the best I could, and everything is just vague because of their teaching model. But I thought that this was still a great representation of how meaningful and intentional every piece of the vision and mission to the goals of students flows into what's required of curriculum by teachers. So here's some references. I'll leave that there so that you can take a second and look at that. Thank you. I hope that this was insightful and not incredibly redundant if you are very familiar with RCA already.